Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing my very simple vision board and then also going over my financial goals for the next year. If that's something you're interested in, please stay tuned. So this is my first video that I actually am going to have currently posted on this channel. So I just want to give you a brief background on myself. I love watching finance videos. It's very motivating for me. It helps me stay on track, and I love finding other ways in which I can view my budget or do my budget or deal with my finances. And I just love seeing other people accomplish their goals, and it's just such a great community to watch. And so I decided to start this channel a few years ago, and I just had a really hard time being consistent. So I'm hoping the third time around I will be consistent and stay on track. This year is a very pivotal year for me. I am envisioning a career change within the next year, so I hope that I can stick to this, and I hope that I can create videos that people can enjoy and watch and maybe find motivation from as well. So I am in my 30s. I do not have kids. I am single, and so I pretty much just have to worry about myself, and that's where most of my goals are focused on. And so when you see my goals, that's why they look the way they do. I also, based on the name of this channel, am into the FIRE community, which is Financial Independence Retire Early. I don't necessarily want to retire that early. I do have a goal of retiring in my 50s, but what really attracted me to the community is the financial independence aspect of it that gives you the opportunity to not have to work, but to be more selective in how you work. So my ultimate goal in my 40s is to go part-time. I just want more free time and more time to do the things that I enjoy in my personal life versus what I've been experiencing in my career. I have been in my career for about 11 years now, and it's very time consuming. It takes up a lot of your personal time as well outside of your actual work hours. So I'm just trying to scale back and find a job that allows me to have a better balance between my personal life and my work life. And that's the other part of the name of this channel, which is L&S, and which just stands for lifestyle and saving. So I'm just trying to also find the best balance between being financially responsible and then also, as in like how I handle my finances and how I'm saving and investing for the future, and then also living the lifestyle that I truly want. So if that is something that you can relate to, I hope that you would hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video. But without further ado, let's get into this notebook. So this is just the simple Happy Planner notebook. It's not a planner, it's not a budgeting book. I've tried some of those in the past. I just don't feel like it's very resourceful for me to use those because I'm not big on actual budgeting itself. Maybe I shouldn't say I will not. I don't at this moment plan on making actual budgeting videos because my budget is very simple. I pretty much have the same budget when it comes to my variable and fixed expenses. They're pretty much the same. I don't really have sinking funds, and I don't do cash stuffings. I've tried that in the past and it felt very boxed in, especially when I was running low on cash for food and I was stressing out, and I thought to myself, well, why am I doing this to myself? And so I had to step away from doing those types of things. But I'm happy that I tried it and got experience from that and understood that, it's not for me, but it works for other people. So my budget's very simple, and I usually make my budget a whole year out, and it doesn't really change. But what I really want to focus on for this channel is what I do with the money that's left over after I've budgeted my variable and fixed expenses. That's where a lot of varying happens over the months. It depends on what I'm focusing on for that month and what my goals are. So that's the area that I do plan to make videos on, because that's where I need to be held accountable the most, and that's where I need to make sure that I'm staying on track in order to reach the goals that I have for myself. So in this notebook, I am using the first section, and the first section is the very simple, thrown together with stickers, vision board that I have for myself, just to give me those reminders of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I kind of just threw fitness on there because I kind of feel like it kind of ties into how I feel about myself overall and how dedicated I am to myself. If I'm feeling good and I'm feeling healthy, then I'm more motivated to stay on track and do what I need to do to reach my goals. Of course, the financial freedom sticker is here, and that's just to remind me of that I do have this big goal. It may not be a goal that I'm going to accomplish this year, but it's a long-term goal that I'm taking small bites at every year. And then also this quote, collect moments, not things. That's really big for me because I tend to purchase things impulsively, and that's something that I have been working on for the last year and I've gotten better at. I don't have a closet full of clothes that I would never wear that are totally not me. I am buying things knowing that, will I be comfortable wearing this? Will I actually fit this? I'm being way more selective in how I purchase things and how I do things, and I'm going on more trips. I'm spending more time with friends and family, and so I'm making more memories versus making these bad impulsive purchases for things that I never actually end up using. So that's big for me, and I just want to expand on that in the next year. And then I do want to live a bold life. I want to have fun. I want to really enjoy life, and I feel like, especially since the pandemic, I have not been doing that. And so that's something I want to remind myself that I need to start doing a little bit more of that. And of course, I need to budget. I need to be more mindful of my budget. My mindset, that's a big thing. It changes so much. I'm a very indecisive person. So something that I really want to work on is being able to stick to an idea. I think what may help me this year is just taking the time to really think about something and research it before I commit to it. And at least then there's less chance, not going to say it won't happen, but there's less chance that I'm going to change my mind. Because what's been happening with my finances, I can just tell you, between January to now, I've changed my mind on a lot of things. And I'm hoping that whatever my financial goals that I set right now, I'm hoping they will stay the same throughout the next year. And I hope that I've done enough research that I'm making the right decisions and where I'm prioritizing my money. Of course, I want to feel good again. That's just something that is really big for me. It ties into, again, the fitness and just buying things that I know I will be comfortable wearing and I like wearing, and feeling okay buying those things and buying nice things for myself, and knowing that that's not wrong. As long as I'm being financially sound in how I am dealing with my money, it's okay to buy yourself nice things here and there. I also didn't have a sticker for this, so I just threw this little sticker down here for hobbies. Like I mentioned earlier, my career kind of sucks up a lot of my time and my energy. Whether I'm at work or away from work, it's still, oh, somebody on a motorcycle. So as I've mentioned before, it takes a lot of my energy, and it makes it hard for me to really take on the hobbies that I always wanted to take on. And so I kind of feel like I've lost myself in my career. So I want to get some of that time back. And I'm hoping that by taking a different position or getting a different job, I will be allowed or afforded that opportunity to get back into my hobbies. An example of my hobbies are, like, I like to paint, I like to draw, I like to sew, and I like to write. And I also like to read, so I'm hoping that I will find time and energy to get back into those again at some point. So that's my vision board. Very simple, not your typical vision board, but something that I can look at and that could remind me why I'm doing what I'm doing and give me the motivation to stay on track. So this is not the first time I recorded this video. The first time I recorded this video, it was almost 30 minutes long. I didn't realize I had talked so much. I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot post a 30-minute video. So I'm redoing this video, and hopefully it won't be longer than, I hope it's not longer than 15 minutes. So let's just dive right into the financial goals. I hope these are the financial goals I have for October of this year into September of next year. The reason I'm doing it this way is because everything when it comes to retirement and financial independence, it's all tied to your age. My birthday is this month, so I figure why not set my annual goals based on my birthday instead of starting at January. It would make sense if my birthday was like in the middle of the year or towards the beginning of the year, but since my birthday is more towards the end of the year, I figured this probably makes more sense for me, especially when I'm trying to calculate my fire number, my coast fire number, all these different numbers and what I need in my account by a certain age. It just makes more sense when you have to put your age in that you actually set your goals based on your age as well. So without further ado, let's get into these financial goals. First category is going to be retirement. So I'm hoping to put $65,000 into my retirement accounts within the next year. So I have four different retirement accounts currently. So the first one is my 401k. So the goal with that and how I'm going to reach this $65,000 goal is that I need to max out my 401k. Very simple, something that a lot of people do. I also want to get the max match for my job. I work for a very fortunate company that matches 5%. As long as you put in 5%, they'll match 5%. And then on top of that, they automatically give you 5% as well. So it's 10% that they give every paycheck. So I'm very fortunate for that. So I want to make sure that I am giving enough to get the maximum of that employer contribution. And then I want to max out the Roth IRA. I do the backdoor Roth IRA, and I've done it for a few years now. My goal is to actually do this in January and be done with it. And then brokerage account, I want to put $30,000 into my brokerage account. If I'm being completely transparent, I don't foresee me putting money into my brokerage for the remainder of this year. So between now and December, I don't foresee myself putting any money into my brokerage. I'm instead gonna kind of like hold it in a savings account for now. It's just so much uncertainty that I've been putting money into my brokerage and all of my accounts all year long, and I've put quite a bit of money into it, and I feel like I've lost more money than I've gained, and it's because this is the nature of the market. We're in this weird I don't know if they haven't officially called it a recession, but it feels like a recession, and I just don't feel comfortable putting money into that currently, but I will. Last one is my TSP. I am no longer a federal employee, but I still have a TSP. My financial advisor has informed me that it's best if I switch it over to my 401k, which is something that I eventually plan to do. I'm just not doing it right now. It's sitting very safe in the G fund right now, so I'm just going to leave it there until I feel comfortable. And I know that you're not supposed to time the market, but I just don't feel comfortable right now. Next is my emergency fund. I just want to maintain $30,000 in my emergency fund. I had more money in it earlier this year, but per advice from my financial advisor, having $40,000 in your emergency fund is not sound advice that they would give. They feel like that's just too much money to be sitting in a savings account. I don't fully agree with that, so I'm hoping to at least put $5,000 into that by the end of this financial goal year. And then home fund. So I bought a home last year. I do enjoy being in the home that I am now, but I know it's not my forever home. So I just want to make sure that I'm putting money aside to buy my forever home. I do have equity in this home, but I want to do extensive renovations to the new home to make sure it fits my needs, and I really just want to customize it to what I want. So that's why I'm putting additional money aside. I currently have $25,000 put aside for this, and I'm going to put another $25,000. I think I need $100,000 because I live in a very high cost of living area, and to make any kind of renovations, it's extremely expensive. So I want to make sure I have a nice amount of money put aside for that. And PTO. I am somebody, I don't know if anybody else does this. If you do, please leave a comment below that you do the same thing. I hoard my PTO hours, and it's not to say that I don't go places or use PTO, but I like to let my PTO accumulate to a certain point. Every job I've had lets you pretty much carry over at least 500 hours. I've had jobs where you could carry over 600 hours. So I like to get a nice cushion of PTO, and then I will start using it more frequently. I want to get to 500. I'm currently at the high 400, so I will still be able to use a lot of PTO, but I want to be able to get to 500 because I do plan to leave this job eventually, and I want to be able to cash this out. And this to me is like another form of savings. So that's why that's there. And shop and travel. So this is the one sinking fund I would say that I do have, and it's actually a separate account. I wanted to make sure I had money put separately so that if I needed to buy something nice for myself, or I wanted to go on a trip, I wanted to go out to eat with friends, that it wasn't hurting my my regular budget. This money was put aside specifically for that. So if I need to go on a trip, or I'm planning a trip, there should already be money in there. So for the next year, I'm anticipating putting about $10,000 towards that over the course of the year. Now, currently there's about $1,000 in there right now because I just went on a trip. So it's going to take me, it's going to take some time to kind of beef it up. But yeah, that's what that is for. And then, of course, as I've mentioned multiple times in this video already, I do plan to get a different job. I have a job in mind. I'm just waiting for it to open, and I don't know when that's going to be. So that's where there's a lot of uncertainty. It could be 5 months from now. It could be 8 months from now. It could be more than a year from now. So I'm keeping my options open and just waiting for the right opportunity to come along. And in the meantime, I have to really think about what it is I really want to do, something that I can see myself doing long term, so that I'm not job hopping all the time. And that I can save and work towards getting to that point where I can go part-time eventually. So last one would be my car fund, which I currently have $13,000 in. This is just a fund that I know eventually at some point I'm going to need a new car. My car is only 3 years old, so I don't anticipate it happening anytime soon, but I want to have money set aside so I can pay for it in cash. My goal is to have $20,000 by the end of this year into this fund. And I plan, if I do leave my job and I cash out my PTO, I plan to use that to help fund that. I don't plan to allocate money for that each month to reach this goal. It's not something you're going to see. So those are my financial goals for the year. Nothing too crazy for me. I think the goals that I had previously for the beginning of the year before I switched to this method of doing it for my birthday month, I had some pretty crazy goals. Like I wanted to put aside $100,000 for the home fund. I wanted to knock it out, and I wanted to buy a house next year. I wanted to buy a house right next year. Actually, this year, I think actually. So I kind of got a little humbled. I got my bearings together, and it was like, hey, you just bought this house. You need to calm down, stay in a little bit longer. The market's a little crazy and uncertain, so just relax. So these are the more relaxed version of financial goals for me. And if you like this video, I want to give you a little preview of what I plan to do in the future with this channel. So with each paycheck that I get, I plan to do a budget, not an actual budget, but just an allocation of the remaining funds after my fixed and variable expenses are already taken care of. So I will do what I'm expecting to have left over, categories that I'm focusing on for that month, or that paycheck, I should say, and then how much I plan to allocate. And then after the pay period, or not pay period, but once I am about to get my next paycheck, I will come back and do the actuals. And then I'll do a reflection if I wasn't able to actually reach expectations, and see what went wrong, what could I have improved on, did I spend too much somewhere that I didn't have as much remaining, stuff like that. And I'll do that for each paycheck, and then at the end of the month I will go over the progress that I made in October. So if that's something you're interested in, I'm really excited about this. And so I would love to have you join me on this journey, and I hope that I can inspire many people out there who are also on a similar journey or on their own journey. Again, if you want to join me, please hit the subscribe button and like this video. It really helps. And I really thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.